uh, James just kept asking me out and asking me out. And so finally, we were going somewhere one night, and he reached over and got my hand, and he said, he never did call me Tiny, just my family. He said, Frances, I love you. And from there on, we just got married and all those children.
That's how it happened.
That's how it happened.
What year was that?
My mind is gone on that.
Yeah, well,
that was way back then.
Was Willie B already married to Dorothy then?
You know, Willie B and Dorothy came from California with 2 children.
Yeah.
You know, Dorothy had 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mother Linneman never did accept those children.
Oh my.
Really?
That was sad, honey.
Yeah.
That was sad. Because they were the sweetest children. The oldest boy was the sweetest child.
Well, actually, when they came from California, they had 4, because Larry was born in California and I was too.
Yeah.
And so they came to Waco. They came to Waco in. Well, I was born in '46, and I was maybe a year old or so. So they came either in '46 or '47.
You know, they had pictures of the car. I guess it was Dorothy's car or Dorothy's family car.
I don't think so.
Did it belong to Willie B?
I'm sure it did. Dorothy didn't have anything.
Yeah, she was in the service.
No, she wasn't in the service. He was.
Oh, was he in the service?
Yeah, she was working in a shipyard.
Well, that's where he met her. And I thought she had a car.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know.
But they came in a car back to Texas.
Yeah, they did. They came in a car.
And wasn't there 2 children then? Her
No.
2 children?
Her 2 children and Larry and I.
4 of you.
Well, Larry would have only been 3, and I would have been 1.
Right. And y'all came to Mother Linneman's house.
I don't know. I don't know where we went. Ended up in Waco,
I know it.
but probably went to Groesbeck first.
Right, you did.
I never heard that story.
And where did one of the babies die? One of the sons died.
When he was 5 or 6, the oldest one, Billy, died in March,
Yeah.
having his tonsils out.
Bled to death.
Something happened.
Yeah, it did. And why in the world did Mother Linneman insist that they take that child down at that little hospital when they had good hospitals in Waco? That child could have had his tonsils out. She was determined for him to go down to this place where it was so much cheaper. Well, cheaper sometimes you lose your life because it bled to death.
Well, I'm sure that's something they regretted the rest of their life.
They did, because that was the most beautiful young boy I ever saw, Billy. My mother kept him.
I think his death, in a way, affected me somehow.
Well, it affected everybody, because he was so beautiful and so, he was just the proudest looking little child and just was always so sweet. Well, you think back sad things. You have to leave them. You
Yeah,
leave them. You can't
you
bring,
do.
can't bring them up. It's gone. It's
Yeah.
gone. It's just gone. But my mother loved, you know, I don't know how many funerals we had down at Box Church or wherever it is, one there. I don't know. But my mother would keep Billy and what was the other one's name?
Bernie.
Bernie, Billy and Bernie. And mother loved both of those children, and they were precious, especially Billy.
You talking about your mother?
My mother.
Oh, she moved to Groesbeck too, or Mahia?
No, she didn't. She was in Mahia, and he brought the children up there for my mother to keep.
Oh, okay, so your mother was in Mahia.
My mother was in Mahia.
Did she move to Mahia after your father passed away?
I think they always lived in Mahia.
Oh. Well,
So they didn't live in,
They never lived in Groesbeck.
yeah, or Mississippi or Tennessee?
No. James and I lived in St. Louis for a short while.
Oh, you
And
did?
it was so cold. It was so cold, he said, I'm going to Texas.
That's what brought me here.
My brother and out in Nebraska was laying a runway. They were in the concrete business. My sister and my brother, Louise Carr and my brother Howard, were in the construction business. And he was going back, and we talked to James, and James said, Howard, would you come and let us go back to Texas with you? And so he came from Nebraska when they finished the runway for the airplanes, and they were going on to Florida, because that's where George and Louise had work, and Howard always had work too. He was a crane operator. And so that's how we got to Mahia. Oh, those were hard days. Those were hard days.
My grandmother always told me, don't let anybody say to you the good old days, because there
They
was
were not
nothing
good
good about
days,
the
no.
old days.
They were not good days.
No, they weren't. No.